Hi, everybody. As most of you know by now, I'm Sarvani. I am Women in HPC's Mentoring Program Director, and in my day job, I am an HPC Administrator at University of California, Merced. Thank you for joining me today in this talk about resiliency and developing your own resilience toolkit. This has grown to be one of the very dear subjects to my heart because of significance resiliency has in shaping up one's character and thus one's story. Before we start, please sign up in the Google Doc http bit.ly/WHPC-mentors. This session is going to be a shorter one. It's going to be 30 minutes. I will talk for about 20 minutes and Q&A could be for about 10 minutes. You can ask your questions in the chat window or share them in the same Google Doc. So what is resiliency? Resiliency is the capacity to bounce back from difficult experiences. I believe some of you here have seen Dark Knight trilogy. One of the quotes that stuck with me is from Alfred Pennyworth, the butler character. Why do we fall, sir? So we can learn to pick ourselves up. I wish I could do the voice. Unfortunately, I'm not skilled in that area. The idea is so simple, so straightforward to listen to, and it even makes sense. But what is not always straightforward is the how part of the question. How do I realize that I am in a difficult situation? How do I cope with these situations? And how can I work towards improving those situations? There is no easy one-shot fix-all answer to this question. The road to developing resiliency is not always linear. It's not obvious. It's easier to comprehend things in hindsight than it is in present tense. And yes, my challenges are not yours. Waking up early, yes, 7 a.m. is early on a Monday morning, no matter what I do the weekend before, is a challenge for me. One thing that I believe 100% is that every single one of us have had to develop resilience to be where we are now, to have overcome the challenges that we have overcome, and to be the persons that we are now. So that is the thread that I want to refer to today. What happens when we ask different people across different domains, different places, different walks of lives, ask them the same question? How did you overcome your battles? We find more common answers than we can imagine. We can draw inspiration from their actions. We understand different perspectives, and so we can apply them to our own context. And as we widen our knowledge, it is easier for us to answer the hows. We have all had to Google stuff. Oftentimes, the struggle is finding out what to ask. Today, we are trying to understand what questions to ask in the face of adversity and find places and resources we could tap into. Just have them handy so we can look for answers and incorporate them into our lives. Learning from our past. The 1% that can give you a complete insight into your past experiences, no judgment, is your present self. So why don't we all do this small exercise? I'm going to give us all 2 minutes to write down answers to these questions on the screen. And if you don't have a pen and paper, don't worry, just ponder on these questions for 2 minutes. So I will wait until 10 past the hour. One more minute. Oh, Erin, I just see your question. Yes, it is not too much work. I will make sure to send out a Google Calendar invite, Outlook Calendar invite, and some other option. Sure. Okay, it's 10 past the hour, so I will continue. Um, for me, whenever I'm stressed, I unhealthily overeat. The you That is usually the first signature that something in my day has been stressing me out. And the interesting point is, I haven't noticed it at the time when I was consistently overeating, but now when I look back, I realize that that was the first symptom. And hopefully, when that rehappens in the future, I can check in with myself, take a short break, or practice some self care that we will be talking about in the next slides. Um, Thinking of a few key people in my life has helped me put things in perspective and help understand the bigger picture. Sometimes we need our cheerleaders to cheer us on, and sometimes being someone else's cheerleader boosts up our morale. Um, but sometimes reaching out to your cheerleaders right then and there might be hard. So please keep a track of all the appreciation emails, notes, or letters, and nice tweets, nice Instagram comments that you've received, or make a note of all the compliments that you've received over time. Make a note of things that you did and that you are proud of. Reading these things as you go through a stressful day can always make you feel better. And also, as a rule of reciprocity, appreciate people that you come across in life. Just send just an acknowledgement note or a thank you note, or even sending them a meaningful meme can make someone's day better. And if you're lucky, we get to witness that. Um, so yes, identifying answers to these questions and making a mental note could act as pointers for our future. Another thing is how you explain your setbacks to yourself. Now that we have revisited our past setback experiences, it is important to understand how we are explaining those setbacks to ourselves. Permanent, this too shall pass. As easy as it is for us to think that this struggle and this pain is never going to end, it will. It is easy to fall into the never mode, or I call it the loop phase. In this loop phase, we keep replaying the past events and coming back to the same conclusions over and over and over again, reinforcing assumptions that we already made and without learning anything new. For example, on a bad day, it is easy for us to believe that the boss never likes our work. Instead, telling ourselves, my boss did not like this one particular task that I did would possibly be more reasonable assumption. One technique that I use to get past this loop phase is I will break it up with a favorite quote of mine from a book. It's Gone with the Wind. There is a quote in that book. After all, tomorrow is another day. So once I say this out loud, how that helps me is that I remember that there is a tomorrow, and I remember that therefore today and today's events and today's stress is not permanent. It could also be a song lyric or a game or a painting or a TV show or an art form that inspires you, something that will make you hope that tomorrow is going to be better. Pervasiveness. Are you letting this one setback define the rest of the aspects of your life? Personalization. Take failure as part of the game. It is easy to get back into a loop of would have, should have, could have. Yes, definitely give yourself uh, time and space to ponder all those possibilities. Allow yourself to get frustrated, and then take all your experiences and lessons with you, march forward with those unique experiences that you now have. Struggles can take us by surprise. It is easy for us to think that if we train enough, we could get ahead of our challenges. Yes, logically, that makes complete sense. However, life, we all know, throws its own curveballs. For example, at this point in my life, I could write a bash script, no problem, but throw a JavaScript at me and I know nothing about anything there. It's going to be that in the, at least in the initial stages, until I identify resources to help me while I'm struggling. Okay, so how do I identify these resources? Make connections. Accepting help and support from those who care about you and will listen to you strengthens resilience. Some people find that being active in civic groups, faith-based organizations, that can help with reclaiming hope. WHPC group, your mentors, your mentees, one or the other would have possibly gone through a similar experience or could possibly connect you with somebody who has. Assisting others in their time of need can also benefit the helper. Avoid seeing crisis as insurmountable problems. You cannot change the fact that highly stressful events happen, but what you can change is how you interpret them and respond to them. Try looking beyond the present and to how future can be a little better. Note any subtle ways that you might already feel better or somewhat feel better as you deal with difficult situations. So for me, journaling for 10 minutes a day on things that I am thankful for help look beyond the present and realize the big picture. Note down the small wins for the day. For me, sometimes it's just getting out of bed and washing my hair. Accept the fact that change is part of life. Certain goals may not be relevant to you anymore, or accepting the circumstances that cannot be changed can help you focus on circumstances that you can change. So I have this quote on my bedroom, the one that you see on the slide. Lord, give me coffee to change things I can change and wine to accept things I can't. I'm not kidding, that's really my bedroom wall. One more line I would like to add to that quote and give me the wisdom to differentiate between the two of them. Move towards your goals. Develop some realistic goals. Do something regularly, even if it seems like a small accomplishment. Just ask yourself, what is the one thing I know I can accomplish today that helps me move in the direction that I want to go, one foot in front of the other. Take decisive actions. Act on adverse situations as much as you can. Take decisive actions rather than completely detaching yourself um, from problems and wishing that they would just go away. So some of us have written code here. Not taking a decisive action to actively debug would be something similar to turning off the computer and hoping the bug just goes away. Look for opportunities for self-discovery. Sometimes people learn so much about themselves and they may have grown in some respect because of their struggles. Nurture a positive view of yourself. Talk to yourself like how you would talk to your best friend. Develop your confidence in your ability to solve your problems and just trust your instincts to help build resilience. self-care. Put your own needs first. It's not selfish to put your own needs first. In fact, you will be better equipped to help others when you are focusing on your health, physical health, and mental health. You cannot pour from an empty cup. You don't have to apologize for refusing to take on anything that will compromise your own well-being. Ask for help when you need it. It can be difficult to ask for help, putting up a tough front when you're stressed and feel like you have to take care of everything will only drag you down. So, in conclusion, I want us all to add these items to our toolkit. Learn what triggers you, works for you, and what doesn't work for you from your past experiences. That this is a key step in identifying stressful situations. As you face adverse situations, explain to yourself permanence, pervasiveness, and personalization of the situation. As you try to overcome stressful situations, identify your resources, make new connections, accept that change is part of living, move towards your goals, take decisive actions, look for opportunities for self-discovery. And always, always remember to take time out for self-care. This is all from me at this point. I hope this is helpful for you. Any questions that you have, again, you can put them on the chat or in the Google Doc, and we'll try to answer them. I see you chat. Yes, we will have access to these slides after today's webinar, and also after editing the video, I'll also share webinar videos. I don't know, Erin, if you have had access to the previous webinar videos that I shared a couple of days ago, but it should be in the same place as those videos are. Hope that helps.
And just to add, we'll also be putting them on the Women HPC website, but we're just trying to figure out the best way to do that. It's our goal there.
Yeah. Great. Any questions from the Google chat? Okay. I will wait for one more minute, and if nobody has any questions, you have 43 minutes of your life back.
Yeah. Well, I have a question for you, Shivani.
Yep.
Have you got any personal experience of where you realized that you had something that was really draining you and testing you, and that you've put something in place? Can you give us an example of what you've done, or is that just really hard to answer?
For me,
in a minute.
That's a good question. So for me, making this decision to move from India to United States to do my master's is a big leap, because I did not know anything about. That was unprecedented in our family, and of course, my parents were against that. Just because they couldn't let go of their daughter, and having to figure out everything from the scratch, of identifying resources about what the next steps would be and what to expect, and how to make most out of the program. All these were individual steps that I've had to figure out as I process, as I was going through. It was hard at times for me, the critical aspect was finding the resources. Once you have that, once you find people doing things like you are, and once you find the right people who can connect you to right people, that is where I found my strength. That is where I find my comfort. So that is one of the reasons with this WHPC mentoring program. That is what I want to. I want to do. I want to share the help and support that I have received through my years from different people across different walks of life. Just share it with other people. Hope that answers.
Yes, thank you. Somebody had their hand up, but no,
Okay.
they don't. I'm hoping that maybe they just made a mistake. If you put your hand up again, or put something in the chat and we'll try and help. No, I don't know. I saw her hand up very briefly just as you started talking, but I didn't see whose it was. And Erin is asking, where is this link? Have you got the link to the webinars recordings? Is that the link? Are you after the link for this Google Doc, Erin, or are you after the webinar? The Google Doc. Can you copy that into the chat, Savani?
Yep.
Oh, and she would love
that in the slides. Yes, I will. I will share these slides with you. I actually think they should already be in a path where I'll definitely do that after the session.
Sounds good. Okay, cool. I think that unless anybody has any other questions, no.
All right.
I think we're calling time on it then. So do you want to just tell us about the next session, Savani, before we hang up?
Yes, that's a good point. Thank you. So the next session will be about imposter syndrome on July 9th. It is given by a faculty member at UC Merced, Christine Isborn. And I am very excited to hear her talk. She's a fantastic professor in applied chemistry, and yeah.
Perfect. Good. It sounds exciting. I'm guessing people's holidays are starting soon. For example, I'm not going to be on the next call. I'm going to be on holiday.
Have fun.
I will be watching the replay. So I guess my final role as moderator today is to thank you all for coming, and we look forward to seeing you in 2 weeks' time. Or Savani does. I'll be having fun instead.
That sounds fun. Oh, have fun, Tony. Thank you all.
Okay. Goodbye, everyone.
Bye.